The pioneers of the internet, including the inventor and the so-called father of the internet, have a new message for AJit Pai of the FCC. Quit fucking around with our internet and do not repeal net neutrality. It's a pretty strong message. Now, in an open letter published on Monday, that's been posted by the Huffington Post, more than 20 industry leaders and pioneers sent a letter to the FCC over its plan to repeal net neutrality rules. Now, they, of course, require internet services providers to treat all content on the internet equally. It's kind of important for, and I should say really, really important for small businesses, especially for media outlets such as myself. So I would be massively affected by net neutrality, as I think every channel out there would be. And this is a way for large companies, large media companies, telecommunications, ISPs, to be able to gain an unprecedented level of control over the internet. That's why I am against repealing Title II protections. Now, it's funny. This letter goes into how the FCC has made its decision, and points out that, of course, that it's basically all their information on how the internet actually works is actually wrong. They said it is important to understand that the FCC's proposed order is based on a flawed and factually inaccurate understanding of internet technology. So that brings me back to the old joke, and I forgot who said it. The internet is just a series of tubes. The inner tubes. It is actually not a series of tubes, but apparently Pai and the rest of the FCC commissioners that are appointed by Republicans, they believe it. Again, you ask like super old people, and look, to be fair, AJit Pai is not an old person, but he is an industry Verizon shill, so of course he's going to be like, oh no, yeah, series of tubes. We're going to make the internet slower, and then we're going to call it competition. Doesn't make any sense, and it's not based on anything factual or anything we actually know about the internet and how it works. Now, they said the letter said that these flaws and inaccuracies were documented in detail in a 43-page long joint comment signed by over 200 of the most prominent internet pioneers and engineers and submitted to the FCC on July 7, 2017. Despite this comment, the FCC did not correct its misunderstandings. Well, you think they're going to correct those misunderstandings? No, absolutely not. They ignore all the comments in favor of keeping net neutrality rules. They also ignored all the fake comments that were, surprise, surprise, opposed to net neutrality rules. They're like, oh, fake comments coming from one place in Russia? No, not interested. We're not going to talk about that at all. We're not going to engage with these. We're not even going to admit that these comments and the comment period was problematic. We're just going to go full steam ahead with getting rid of net neutrality, despite all normal internet using humans saying, don't touch our internet. Don't fuck with Title II protections. Do not give the internet over to the ISPs. They don't care. Now, the comment referred to a letter in detailed numerous the comment referred to in the letter detailed numerous technical mistakes in the FCC's proposed order, including a flawed understanding of the differences between ISPs and edge providers, which is content companies like Netflix, and how firewalls functioned, or described in the document as, quote, a stunning lack of technical knowledge. Now, look, you would think that the regulators in charge of regulating an industry would at least have some sort of cursory understanding of how the industry works, how the industry functions. I mean, they have enough people in the revolving door that they should have some sort of understanding of how the internet actually fucking works, but they don't. They don't have any sort of minimum knowledge of what they're talking about. There's more. The engineers and experts who penned the comment warned that repealing net neutrality could have dangerous consequences, including stifling future innovation and depressing future investment in the wealth of internet services that drive such a large part of the U.S. economy. Now, here you have the so-called father of the internet, a man named Vint Cerf, not Al Gore. I know there's some people out there up to Al Gore. He claims he invented the internet. No, he has claimed no such thing. It's actually Vint Cerf, who is also Google's vice president. To be fair, we are one of Google's partners because we're on YouTube. Anyway, there's a slight conflict of interest in there, perhaps, or so it would seem. But Cerf said, well, Cerf was one of the 20 luminaries who wrote a letter to lawmakers urging them to push the FCC to cancel its vote on net neutrality. This sentiment was also echoed in Monday's letter, whose signatories included Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, Mozilla Foundation executive chairwoman Mitchell Baker, and Internet Archive founder Brewster Kahle. The letter detailed how the FCC has not just ignored experts' warnings, but also the millions of public comments that have been submitted on the issue. The FCC also has not held a single open public meeting to hear from citizens and experts about the proposed order, a break from what they call established practice. And there is a reason for that. AJit Pai and Trump FCC regulators, look, there's a reason they don't know about the internet, because it's not their job. That's not what they are appointed there to do. And we see a pattern with a lot of different Trump nominees. See, they don't give a damn about how the internet works. All they care about is who's paying them. Give me my paycheck. That's all. That's all I want. Give me my paycheck. Give me my future job when I'm done working in government. And Pai has just guaranteed himself a pretty cushy job after he's done at his stint at the FCC. Now, the repeal of net neutrality is nothing more than a gift to his friends in the industry. He doesn't need a fundamental understanding of the internet and how it works in order to destroy it. In the words of Upton Sinclair, it is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding. And again, this isn't the case just with Pai, but with all the different departments where Trump has had the ability to appoint someone to run. Tillerson, for example, was appointed to the State Department to basically help ExxonMobil. That's what he was put there to do. You also had Scott Pruitt, that was appointed to the EPA in order to dismantle it, to dismantle regulations, and to make it easier for fossil fuel companies to go and basically do whatever the hell they want in order to make a buck. Betsy DeVos was appointed the Secretary of Education in order to basically dismantle public schools and push charter schools, which will help the private corporations. This is not an accident. This is by design. So I don't think Pai or the FCC are going to care at all what these founders of the internet think of his plan, since, again, he doesn't already care about what the vast majority of the users of the internet actually think. However, the letter's authors did urge lawmakers in the Senate Commerce Subcommittee on Communications, Technology, Innovation, and the Internet, and the House Energy Subcommittee on Communications to push for Pai to cancel the FCC's vote scheduled for Thursday. So we don't know if that kind of pressure will actually work. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But they said, quote, the FCC's rushed and technically incorrect proposed order to abolish net neutrality protections without any replacement is an imminent threat to the internet we worked so hard to create. It should be stopped. So here's a rare story in which we actually have corporations on our side, which is fucking weird, right? So we've got big multinational corporations like Google, Netflix, Facebook, all on our side. And don't forget Mozilla also. And we also have people who are charged with actually creating the internet in the first place, saying, hey, don't mess with our creation. And here's AJit Pai saying, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to destroy your creation. I'm here to water it down. I'm here to hand it over to the giant corporations that give me a paycheck. That's all he's there for.